Please don't talk about me when I'm gone. Oh, honey, though our friendship ceases from now on.
Hey, did you know Accademia is now open for guided tours, experiences, and classes? Whether you're a coffee enthusiast or a professional, you'll be able to dive deep into all things coffee origin, processing, and extraction, and master your skills of sensory analysis, tasting, and brewing. Massimo and Nora, your teachers, will tell you more, and we'll all be waiting for you here in Accademia del Caffè Espresso.
We use our senses every day, but don't often think about them. Think back to the last meal you ate. Do you remember what you had? More importantly, do you remember how it tasted? In this course, you will build your skills for tasting, learn the 5 basic tastes, and recognize each of these in varying intensities. You'll focus on distinguishing the different aromas typically found in coffee and how to differentiate between flavor and quality. You leave this class with a greater appreciation of the flavors and an improved vocabulary for discussing them. A small amount of water extracted under high pressure through freshly ground coffee in a very short time creates that fascinating small, thus very compact beverage. It's an incredible mix of aroma and flavors and harmony. That's why people just love to drink espresso all over the world. In this class, you will learn how to extract the best possible result in the cup out of the given coffee. What are the consequences of temperature and pressure variations, and which are the mistakes that can be made during the extraction process. You will create awareness on the different roasting philosophies and what they bring to the cup by evaluating their quality according to objective parameters. The barista's role must never be underestimated. It is key to enhance the work of the many people behind a cup of espresso.
Not everyone has the opportunity to visit a coffee plantation. This class will give you the theory about that part of the production difficult to experience in person. We will start with a history of the diffusion of coffee in the producer countries, and we will talk about the different varieties of a plant. Then we will address all aspects of the coffee production process, starting from the harvest to the export of the green beans till roasting and extraction. You will have a first glance at the complete process of coffee making. Understand the coffee production chain from tree to cup in our journey through the history and evolution of modern coffees. Coffee culture is constantly evolving, and as a professional, you must understand that roasting and brewing are only one part of the story. Now, more than ever, you need to be aware of the origins, especially of what can be done after the harvest phase. I'm sure that this knowledge will become crucial in the next few years. In this class, we will dive deep into the so-called post-harvest phase. We will learn how to select coffee beans, how to process them to obtain a variety of flavors, and how to best store them on their way to the roasters. Learn everything about the new methods of processing and understand what they bring to the cup.
Whether you just enjoy coffee, are a professional barista or coffee expert who wants to dive into one of the many aspects of coffee, you will find all the information about our classes and how to book them on our website, academiaespresso.com.
Hi, and welcome back to La Marzocco's Coffee Encounters. Coffee Encounters is a show revolving around coffee, food, lifestyle, the company's history, together with live demos and much more. This new format is presented by La Marzocco Home in collaboration with Accademia del Caffè Espresso and published once a month on our YouTube channel. For the 8th episode, we're very happy to present you Accademia's educational offering, courses and experiences, including classes on coffee origin, processing, extraction, and sensory analysis. From here, we'll move on through the episode with a dessert recipe from Barcelona, freshly prepared by the talented Lorena Salas, and end up with some tech topics such as pressure manipulation on the GS3, brought to you by our team in the US. Eager to listen to a coffee debate about new coffee processing methods? Stay tuned then, and enjoy venturing once again into the fascinating world of coffee.
Hola, muy buenas. Soy Sandra, responsable de marketing de la Marzocco en España, y estamos en Barcelona, en Poblenou, uno de los distritos que fomenta el arte y la cultura de nueva creación, ya que aquí es donde se concentran la gran mayoría de los emprendedores. Y hoy tenemos la suerte de colarnos en el estudio de una de ellas, que es Lorena Salas.
¿Qué tal?
Es la cara visible del perfil de Instagram de Hecha de Bocados, la autora del libro Dulce sin culpa y la fundadora de We Are Aurea, la escuela de cocina online. Además, cocinar aquí tiene que ser un sueño.
Nos ponemos a ello, cocinamos.
Venga,
hacemos
vámonos.
una receta rica.
Hombre.
Venga.
Bueno, a ver, Lorena, cuéntame. Me ha tenido en ascuas hasta hoy, no ha querido contarme nada, así que esto es igual de sorpresa para mí que para vosotros.
Así que vamos a hacer una mousse de café vegana.
Vale.
Va a haber ingredientes que yo creo que te van a parecer lo menos sorprendentes.
Venga,
Así
vale.
que lo primero vamos a hacer café. Creo que más o menos 55.
Perfecto.
Para hacer esta versión vegana, que además
Vale.
queremos que sea lo más saludable posible, lo que voy a utilizar en vez de lácteos, vamos a utilizar anacardos. Y han estado eso, a remojo la noche anterior y luego esta mañana los he aclarado y los he escurrido.
O sea, los anacardos en lugar de la nata para darle el toque
Exacto.
así cremoso.
Un poquito de maca, la vainilla,
Vale.
la manteca de cacao, la sal y bueno, y el café, que es el
Perfecto.
sabor de la mousse.
Bueno, pues
¿Nos ponemos?
manos
Venga.
a la obra.
Batidora. Primero los anacardos, que tenemos 140 gramos de anacardos. Los vamos a batir junto con el café. Sirope de arce. Una cucharadita de azúcar de coco, pues una cucharada suficiente. De maca, vainilla, media cucharadita. Sal. Yo soy generosa siempre. Una buena
Muy
pizca
bien.
de sal. Venga, a batir. Falta la manteca de cacao ahora al final, que como te he dicho la echábamos a última hora para que emulsione. Piensa que luego va a enfriar y obviamente el sabor va a ser muy diferente y falta la esponjosidad que todavía no
Claro.
tiene. ¿El sabor está bien?
No, espectacular.
Vale, entonces lo que vamos a hacer ahora es echarlo. Intento con esta receta es que alguien que consume lácteos, que consume huevos, que está acostumbrado a comer postres tradicionales, pruebe esta mousse y no eche de menos nada.
Bueno, a ver, y ahora el ingrediente sorpresa, el
clave.
aquafaba.
Garbanzos ya preparados, que los compres en el súper o que lo hagas tú. Pero lo que vamos a hacer es escurrirlo, nos vamos a quedar con el agüita y los garbanzos, pues eso ya, lo que te apetezca. Es súper útil, yo lo utilizo siempre como sustituto de la clara de huevo. Siempre que pienso, necesito clara de huevo en esta receta, voy a utilizar aquafaba. 50 gramitos. Media cucharadita de limón, de zumo de limón, para ayudar a que monte mejor. Poquito a poco ya se va a empezar a formar una espuma, entonces poco a poco voy a ir subiendo la velocidad. Ya verás que va a ir subiendo el volumen hasta que va a aparecer clara de huevo montada. Pero ahora hay que volar, porque no queremos perder nada de aire. Entonces, mira,
Sí.
este es el truco.
Vale.
Cogemos nuestro bol, tenemos aquí la crema, le damos una vueltecita.
Y esto es para darle la textura de mousse.
Claro,
Perfecto.
eso va a dar todo el aire, toda la esponjosidad a la mousse.
Sí.
Vale, esto está listo para emplatar y al frigorífico.
Licenciada en Ingeniería Civil, profesora de Matemáticas, ¿cómo llegas hasta aquí?
Cuando acabé la carrera me di cuenta de que no era lo mío. Me faltaba la parte creativa porque de pequeña me gustaba mucho pintar, me gustaba mucho el dibujo. Me mudé a Estados Unidos, me encontré allí un poco sin saber muy bien qué hacer y me pasaba el día en una librería que había allí en Houston, que era donde vivía, viendo libros de cocina. Me metí a estudiar pastelería en una escuela tradicional y ya no hubo vuelta atrás.
Tu primer contacto con el café de especialidad, digamos, cuando te das cuenta en Estados Unidos.
En un viaje a Nueva York, no sé segura si fue en Nueva York o en Los Ángeles, pero bueno, en los dos sitios he tenido esa experiencia. De repente tomar un café y decir, ostras, esto es otra cosa. Y entonces empecé a hilar de cada vez que un café me gusta, veía la maquinita, veía la Marzocco. Y en Londres ya ni te cuento, claro, Londres es una pasada.
Y ahí fue, de hecho, en Londres fue donde te formaste por primera vez, a raíz de conocer al equipo de la Marzocco.
Primer curso de latte art.
Con Daisy lo hiciste, ¿verdad? ¿Cómo
Sí,
fue aquello?
Genial, ya me lo explicó muy bien, cómo se notaba la diferencia pues, en el aroma, en la textura, en el sabor. Y claro, tener la máquina, la mini en casa, pues me dio la oportunidad de experimentar un montón.
Porque todas tus recetas son creaciones propias.
Sí, soy muy... No quiero decir maniática porque creo que es una buena cualidad, pero me gusta hacer todo desde cero.
Bueno, yo porque he tenido la grandísima suerte de poder probar este postre, pero la gente que quiera probar tus recetas, ¿qué es lo que tiene que hacer?
Bueno, pues muchas de las recetas las pueden encontrar en el libro, en mi libro Dulce sin culpa. Y bueno, ahora que tengo este espacio tan chulo, pues aquí también estamos haciendo talleres presenciales, o sea que también habrá recetas con café o sin café, habrá de todo. Está la escuela online, que también está en inglés y en español, esa opción es para los que no pueden viajar a Barcelona. Y ojalá algún día lo puedan probar de manera física cuando abra mi propio negocio.
Bueno, Lorena, pues oye, no te robo más tiempo, muchísimas gracias por habernos dedicado este ratito y habernos recibido en este maravilloso estudio que es realmente precioso.
Gracias.
Y enhorabuena por todo el camino recorrido y
hasta la próxima.
Y hasta la próxima.
Gracias.
I'm Melissa, La Marzocco educator here in the US. Today we're featuring the La Marzocco GS3 MP. Espresso has been brewed for the longest time at just 9 bars of pressure, but we want to explore what happens if you change the pressure. I want to challenge you to brew at different pressures, experiment, and help us develop the coffee world. Oftentimes when we go to our favorite cafe, we'll find a barista that we think just makes the best espresso. But how do they get there? They get there by experimenting. Why don't we get creative with it? Why don't we try brewing at different pressures? That's how you get good espresso. That's the challenge today, is to really open up the idea and talk about what are cool ways you can experiment with brewing, and in this case, how does pressure involved in that? The GS3 MP is really a machine for the experimenter. It's for somebody who knows that it's going to take a little bit of time to really produce something of quality. It is a science experiment. You're working with variables that are changing constantly, and you have to enjoy that process if you're going to get everything out of it that you can. Personally, this is what made me so excited about this machine when I first heard about it. This paddle is awesome. As you move the paddle over, it's activating a micro switch, which in turn is engaging the pump and opening a conical valve. As you're opening that conical valve, some of the water is getting bypassed into the drip tray instead of the group head. That's allowing for a lower bar pressure to be achieved inside of the group head. This is how we'll do pre-infusions, this is how we'll do a slow ramp or a fast ramp. The paddle on the GS3 is sensitive, and the engagement is going to start right around here for as far as when you'll actually see pressure start going into the group head. Here's some of the different styles of shots that are based on pressure profiling. Now keep in mind, these shots can all be pulled at different time frames. One of the most popular pressure profiling shots is simply the pre-infusion shot. That's where you ramp up to 9 bars of pressure right after a low bar pre-infusion of a few seconds. Now we'll try a little bit more complicated pressure profiling shot. In this case, we're going to split it up into 5 different steps. We're going to go to low bar, medium bar, high bar, and back to medium bar, back to low bar, off. All right, now we're gonna try the lever shot. This is a shot where you would pre-infuse at a low bar. Then you're gonna ramp all the way up to a high bar for full pressure. Then you're gonna do a very smooth ramp down for the end of the shot. There is no single recipe that is gonna always taste amazing or always be the right choice for you. Some people can find that a little frustrating because it makes it to where there's not just one answer or one way of brewing espresso. There's many. If you're trying out different beans, generally your roaster, whatever roaster you're using, is gonna have a recipe that they recommend you pull it at. But that doesn't mean that you can't deviate and try out different things. Now let's get crazy. Medium bar, high bar, low bar. Then ramp up to 9. Back to low bar, off. Crazy shot. You could always start at trying to pull a shot at the recipe and then experiment with pulling a shot a little bit longer or a little bit shorter than what that is and see if you like the way it tastes better. Depending on what you're gonna be adding to your espresso, you maybe want to adjust like how you would use pressure to pull a shot. Okay, do you want a longer shot for something that you're gonna be adding milk to, or a more concentrated shot for something you're gonna be adding milk to? Maybe you want something that's like really just like a quick sip, ready to go, and then that's it. So you might like all of it. Thanks for geeking out on espresso with me. See you next time.
Hi and welcome. I'm Sylvia, Marketing Specialist at La Marzocco Home, and I'm here today with my colleagues Scott, Product Manager at La Marzocco, and Nora, Coffee Education Leader at Accademia del Caffè Espresso. They're going to have a fun debate over a hot coffee topic. The topics are going to be chosen at random, and the way I'm going to choose them will be by drawing them from this small container here. Also, I'm going to be flipping a coin who's going to assign who's debating against and who's debating for. So we have one topic, 2 participants, 3 minutes each, and you're going to be the judge. Let's see what we got today. Nice topic, guys. We got new processing methods. So now I'm gonna flip the coin, and if the coin lands on heads, Nora, you're going to debate for. If the coin lands on tails, you're going to debate against. Let's see what comes out. We got heads. You're going to debate for. So you're going to have 1 minute starting from now.
So I have the pleasure to try to convince you what are the pro points on the new processing methods. And actually there are many, because it starts at the origin where it gives the possibility to farmers to earn way more money, because thanks to the new processing methods and achieving a totally new world of flavors, the farmers can get a higher premium for their coffees, for their micro lots. And this goes through until the final consumer, because the new processing methods make coffee way more exotic. It's totally new. It's a totally new world. So you can discover, for example, flavors like cinnamon, or exotic flavors like pineapple, strawberries. It's very transparent flavors. And it's way more easy to talk about coffee with the final consumer and educate everyone between the origin until the final cup.
Now it's Scott's turn for his opening statements. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's start.
Hi Nora, I'm excited to debate this great topic with you today. I'd like to focus on a couple simple things when we talk about these new processing styles. The first one is introduction of foreign substances. The second one is the decoupling of price from quality. And the third is looking at the reference in the wine world. When we look at the introduction of foreign material into the processing of coffee, yes, you're right, it's easy to add the flavor of cinnamon when you add a bunch of cinnamon into your processing. However, that takes away from the quality of coffee. Secondly, looking at the decoupling of price from quality. For so long, We have paid a premium for extraordinarily well-grown coffee because it's, when processed in the traditional methods, its quality is reflected in the final cup. By having these new processing methods, you can use a lower quality coffee and still produce a different flavor that is unique, but maybe not deliver value.
Thank you, Scott. Now it's time for a rebuttal.
I think you are right in some parts, but is it already scientifically proven? And do you know all the details how the new processing methods are actually done? Because it's already proven that you don't need to add, for example, fruits in order to achieve new flavors. And yes, you are also right that partially you don't taste the variety of the coffee anymore, but at the same time, given the problematics, the global problematics like the climate change, it gives a very, very good chance to maintain the variety, even if it's not growing under the optimal conditions, and give it an extra swift to be able to sell it for a higher price. And of course combined then with a better taste in the final cup. As you say, is something which is not so well controlled. Yes, you are right, but at the same time it's a totally new field. So we are like at the beginning of discovering a totally new world of flavors.
Scott, now it's your turn for a rebuttal.
So first, with the topic that not all add, there's no clarity in naming, labeling, and there are no conventions. And with that, how is a consumer to know that something is adulterated or not? That is extraordinarily misleading to the consumer and makes it very difficult to place any value on what is good and what is bad. And we've again consumed the consumers of specialty coffee. Secondly, you talked about a way to prop up poor coffee genetics in a time where the reality of changing climate means that coffee genetics are in challenge. Interesting point, but I believe it is much better to focus on planting and growing the best varietals possible that can produce the best quality in the right conditions of the time, instead of holding on to genetics that unfortunately are not able to be modernized.
Okay, so thank you, Scott. Now we're moving over to the last phase of the debate. It's time for conclusions. Nora, it's your turn.
I guess it's a topic which is very, very interesting for all of us, because we are all working in the coffee industry and have the same goal to raise awareness about quality coffee. And the new processing methods, in my point of view, is a very huge part of it. Because if you like it or not, it helps us as a very important tool to move things forward, to spread knowledge about each of the steps within the C2 cup chain. And also, if you say, for example, that it's very difficult to monitor or understand on a packaging how the coffee was actually processed, this shows us that we need to invest way more technology to the origins and also the time to be able to monitor and control this process better, with the aim to improve it and bring it to the best.
Thank you, Nora. Now it's Scott's turn to conclude over new processing methods.
I think the most important thing to look at here is what started the innovation exploration around these processing methods. And I think we can probably both agree that it came from barista competitions. For those who aren't familiar, barista competitions prioritize the ability of a barista to name a specific flavor in their espresso in order to be rewarded points. The more strongly the flavor is presented, the more points the barista receives. Because of this, experimental processing methods are favored in the barista competition because it's a natural advantage, because you can highlight one particular flavor in a way that a traditional processing method cannot. That works great if your game is to win a barista competition, but not if your game is to make the best coffee possible. When you look at the best wine houses in the world, Domaine Rome, Conti, all of the great Bordeaux houses, they're not adding or changing their processing to stay in style.
Thumbs up. So thank you, Scott, for your valuable insights. Now we got to the end of the debate. I hope you had fun just as much as we did. So now it's your turn to be the judge. After this Coffee Encounters episode, you'll be receiving a survey where you can vote who made the most convincing arguments. All I'm left with is to wish good luck to my two participants and colleagues and say thank you all for joining.
Don't talk about